All right, this is what's going to start the contest. We've got phone lines racked up. Those of you on hold, stay put, because we're going to talk to the voice of the Packers and our friend Wayne Larrivee. Our conversations with Wayne every week, sponsored by Coal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. Good afternoon, Wayne.
How you doing, guys?
We are fired up. We're healthy and ready to go, apparently like many of the Packers.
Well, playoffs usually bring out good health, don't they?
This is what you play for. This is what you worked for all year going back to training camp. This is the time. And Wayne, I'm convincing myself more and more when I got the news that the Packers were going to play the Cowboys Sunday. I thought, well, that's a tall order. It's been a good season. But now I'm starting to convince myself that they can make this competitive and maybe even steal one. Is my logic flawed?
No, I don't think it is. And of course, what am I supposed to say? You're full of it, Drew. The Packers are going to get blown out. No, I'm not going to say that. No, not at all. The thing about the Cowboys is they certainly do look primed to make a run. When you look at their tape and you go over the numbers and everything else. But, of late, they've struggled a little bit. They've lost a couple of games. They've struggled with good teams with winning records. They're only 4-4 against teams with winning records. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. But I don't think the Packers are going to be intimidated or tight or anything like that. So I think they'll make this Dallas team work.
So on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10, Wayne, how excited are you for this playoff season compared to others? Or is this just a regular old run-of-the-mill thing?
No, I'd say I'm about an 8 or a 9 because of the youth of this football team and where they're coming from and the surprise. I mean, KB, you've been mentioning it all year. This has been a fun season to watch this team. And boy, I can't wait till next year either. Like you said the other day, I think they're going to make some changes. They're going to upgrade that roster a little bit more in certain places. But boy, they've got some good young people in place, and they've gotten a great deal of wonderful experience, both good and bad. And that makes it all wonderful. They've had the good stuff and the bad stuff. Now they get the playoff stuff. They've got a lot of great experience working for them.
I happen to think that if they get knocked out this weekend, it will be disappointing, but the level of our excitement for next year will be higher than it's ever been.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that, regardless of what happens in Dallas. And Drew, I agree with you. I hope they can keep it close. And maybe, the closer it is in the fourth quarter, the more pressure there is on the Cowboys because of that owner sitting up there in the fourth level. I'm not getting any younger anymore. That guy. Jerry Jones.
That guy.
There's a lot of pressure on this franchise. They haven't been to a title game since the mid-90s. This is interesting to see. This is going to be interesting to watch this game.
Talking to Wayne Larrivee here on the Drew and KB program, Wednesdays with Wayne. I want to know, for me, and you've been watching the Cowboys tape more intently than I have this week. Is this a week where it seems to me that the Packers offensively, it'll hinge on how Aaron Jones plays and how they run the ball. And so does he have another 100-yard game in him? Can he make it 4 in a row?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to do that. There's no question. And it's interesting the last 3 weeks. Isn't it interesting how we've seen, be it Mike McCarthy or Matt LaFleur, always kind of keeping a pitch count on Showtime. That hasn't been the case the last 3 weeks. It's been all in, all out. And that's what they have to do this week. Yep, you're rolling it with that guy, and you're giving as many touches as you can. And the Cowboys have struggled at times against the run. And I know the Lions put over 100 yards on them, and I think the Packers can do the same. And that would be a big key because what Dallas does really well is they rush the quarterback, pressure the quarterback, and sack him, and force turnovers off of those pressures. And if you can run the football, you take the edge off of that pass rush.
Packers have done a good job of that. And Wayne, in recent weeks, we haven't given the offensive line enough credit, not just for the way they pass protect and run block, but not jumping off sides, not having the 1st and 15s. They've been ahead of the sticks a lot in the last couple of weeks. And that's the difference. I mean, Jordan Love's having a great season, but there aren't many good quarterbacks on 3rd and 19.
Yeah, they're among the best lines in the business, Drew, at pass protection. If you look at the analytics and Pro Football Focus grades, the Packers are right up there, top 5, top 10 in protecting the passer. And so, that's been it's been subtle. It's been a subtle thing. But, I think they've been remarkable on that line when you figure, they've been alternating a little bit at left tackle, although that seems to be solidified right now. And they're alternating guys at right guard. The best offensive lines are the ones that are playing the same 5 guys every play, every week. And so this has been an anomaly, but it's been a positive one for the Packers.
But if you recall, a couple of years ago, obviously you would recall, that was a stupid way to open this question. A couple of years ago, they had problems with the offensive line, and that's when Elton Jenkins kind of came into his own. He played all 5 positions. So they've had a history of being able to do that.
Oh, yeah. Versatility of personnel, KB, I think over the last 4 or 5 years, at least in the LaFleur tenure, has, I think, been the strength of that offensive line. The fact that you've got guys who can play a number of different positions. So if somebody goes down at left guard, you've got someone you can move into that position, and you've got somebody else who can play the position that player is vacating. So I really think that's been the key to the depth on this line. Now, you're missing David Bakhtiari. When he was at his best, that took this line to another level. But you haven't had that for a couple of years now anyway. So, and they've still been able to maintain a certain level of performance among the top 10 in the league. And I think that's truly remarkable.
Wayne, is Dak Prescott, if you had that MVP ballot, is he in the conversation? Where does he rank for you? And what do the Packers need to do to slow him and CeeDee Lamb down?
Well, I've got a vote in that. I'll tell you what I did. I did vote for him for MVP at quarterback. And I think he's had just a terrific year. And I understand Brock Purdy and the San Francisco thing and all that. But Dak Prescott's really played well. And he's played well in the games I've watched Dallas lose. He still has played well in those games. Yeah, maybe an interception here or there, and people get down on him. But this guy has been really good, and the kind of season he's having is one of those MVP caliber years, and the kind of year you can make a run to the Super Bowl behind.
They were about ready to run him out of town a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. And matter of fact, the last time the Packers played in a playoff game in Dallas, I believe he was a rookie. And so, 2016, if I'm not mistaken, that game with Cook making the catch on the sidelines of Mason Crosby hitting a 52-yard field goal, not once, but twice to win that game. So, hey, listen, anything can happen in the playoffs. It's one and done. The best team doesn't always win. And so these teams are close enough that I think we could expect a very good game on Sunday.
KB used the phrase, run them out of town. This is the week where that happens, and it's happening all over the NFL. Wayne, the Bears letting go their entire offensive staff, not particularly shocking. Pete Carroll being pushed aside as the Seahawks coach, that made me say, what?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Wow. That's amazing when you think about it. And some of them, Vrabel being pushed out down in Tennessee.
Yeah.
There's some really good coaching talent out there. And I don't mean just as head coaches, but as assistant coaches as well. It'll be interesting to see where all this goes.
Wink Martindale's a free agent. And there will be more. We still don't know about Belichick. A lot of people are thinking Vrabel could go there and take over. And
that would be logical. That would be a logical choice for Bob Kraft and company. Vrabel's an excellent coach. He has a background with the Patriots, not as a coach, okay? People think he's off the Belichick tree. He's not. He was a player under Belichick. And, he developed his own coaching style in that type of thing. So, yeah, I mean, I think that would be a natural right there. But it's amazing, guys, because you think about like Seattle. What if the Packers lost and Seattle made the playoffs? Pete Carroll and his staff would still have a job, right?
That's true.
Probably.
It's amazing. These things happen. And one twist of fate, one bounce of the ball could have turned a whole different thing.
It's the razor's edge of the NFL.
Hey, Wayne, if let's just say, imagine for a moment, there's a tipping point in this game. What do you think it might be? Big defensive turnover, big offensive splash play,
special teams.
Where do you think it might come?
Wow. I think, I want to say defense, but I think it's going to come with an offensive splash play. If they could get something big on this defense early on, set a tone, I think that could be very important in this football game. I think one of the keys to the game, obviously, is the Packers. And Dallas is a high takeaway team. They're an excellent defense. As I mentioned, we're getting pressure on the quarterback, forcing him into mistakes. Don't turn the ball over. Can't do that. Now, you say, well, can the Packers get a turnover or two? That's not something they do very often, is it? I mean, they're one of the lowest teams in terms of takeaways this season in the league. And, barely scratched the surface in the last couple of weeks. And so I don't know if you can expect the Packers to take the ball away from the Cowboys, but there's no question the Packers better not give it to the Cowboys and give them extra chances in their own building.
I see this game going very close into the fourth quarter. Since it's hot take hump day, my hot take is Packers win. The game is close into the fourth quarter, and the Packers take the lead due to poor clock management on the part of the Cowboys.
History is your guide.
History.
Hot take or a
Repeat
hope?
itself.
Is that a hot take or a hope? Though a lot of our hot takes are hopes. All right, time to learn about Larrivee. We each get a question to ask Wayne to help our listeners learn about the legendary voice of the Packers, and I get to go first. Wayne, we had a little gathering here. I know you were busy and stuff, but we had a little gathering here at the office. It was our holiday party. It was a potluck. If Wayne Larrivee comes to a potluck, what are you bringing? An appetizer, an entree, or dessert? What's your go-to dish to bring to a potluck?
Bourbon.
Popular.
That's why we love hanging out with
popular.
Wayne. You don't need anything else. Just a couple of crackers
I'm
and some
bringing
chips.
bourbon. You don't want me to
And a
cook
bag of
something
chips.
for you. No.
There you go.
Awesome.
And 5 small packs of beer nuts.
Yeah. KB, what do you got?
Okay, Wayne, if you were in a coma and only one song could wake you up, what would that song be?
Oh, gosh. I would say probably Huey Lewis, Heart of Rock and Roll.
Really? Because
It's a banger.
I pushed all in on this one.
Oh, kickoff song.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Because I could see Wayne laying there, tubes coming out of his head,
And
and
he's
all
like,
of a sudden you crank this, and he's up,
and he thinks it's kickoff
and
time.
he's ready to go.
He's ready to
And
call
I'm
the
pulling
game.
the IV out of my arm, right?
Yeah, I got to get out of here.
I got to be in the booth.
Where
I gotta
are you,
call this
Larry?
game. That's amazing.
Oh, God.
Oh, awesome. Wayne, we're so looking forward to Sunday. Can't wait. You guys were awesome again
Yep.
throughout the regular season, and we're looking forward to hearing you guys in the playoffs.
Looking forward to it, guys. Thanks much. Have a great week.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, Wayne.
Larrivee, our conversation with Wayne, presented by Coal Investment Group, the retired